It's Nerf or nothing. At least that's what they tell me. You can tell which one that I chose because this video isn't named Can You Beat Fallout New Vegas with a nothing? No, I'm gonna be doing it with the Nerf Doublestrike by Scouter408. Or 408, I didn't ask. So, I start my life the same way all women do. Released in fall of 2014 under the Zombie Strike series, featuring an intelligent air restrictor system. The Doublestrike has two methods of acquisition. It can either be crafted, or found all the way up in Jacobstown. Crafting the gun takes 5 pre-war money and ammo is 1 loose cigarette each. That sounds pretty doable to me. I find 1 pre-war dollar in Trudy's cash register. Then I shoot some bottles, which is fine because they aren't alive. I'd hoped that I'd find more money in Ringo's cash register, but I only find worthless bottle caps. But I find another one in Chet's. I find the last few dollars I need in the Bison Steve, then return to Goodsprings to... Oh, I need 1 more survival. Not to worry, the Wasteland Survival Guide and Lone Wolf Radio has me covered. Now I need to figure out where to score some cigarettes. I try playing Hey Mister at the gas station, but nobody ever stops by for me to bum one off of. Benny's distinctive butts are also far too distinctive for me to turn into darts in case that thought crossed your mind. The wiki claims that 116 cigarettes can be found in Camp McCarran, and that sounds believable enough to me. So away through Black Mountain I go, over to Camp McCarran. After scouring all over the floor, I found 32 before deciding it isn't worth it to keep looking. I meant 92. I don't know how I fucked that up so bad. If you're asking yourself how I could possibly have missed almost a fifth of them, well, why don't you go in there and see if you can do a better job, hypothetical straw man viewer? I had hoped that the darts would be recoverable, but no such luck, I'm afraid. I now set off to find the Doublestrike in Jacobstown. The mod page doesn't specify, but I just kind of assume that there'll be some darts with it, right? Although last time I assumed something about a modded weapon. Oh man, that was just not my day. I get up there expecting the worst and receiving the exact opposite. 250 darts just sitting there, right there. Yes! Finally! My 18-carat run of bad luck is over. This is the year of Parable, just like I predicted 2 years ago. Am I crazy or is there supposed to be a lake here? There's still more cigarettes out there, though. 27 in the Atomic Wrangler. And at Repcon, there's 60... Oh. There's 1 less than 68. I find 22 in the Atomic Wrangler, and at Repcon, I only find 3. Though, to be honest, I wasn't looking very hard. So at the end of my scavenging, I have 367... Oh, come on. I have 1 less than 368 darts. And I test out my Doublestrike over in Nipton. It deals 4 damage right now, but it has an incredibly high crit damage multiplier and 2 taps 2 different legionnaires. Additionally, the darts, absolutely brutal projectile trajectory. Not good. I tried to kill Dead Sea as well, but he's more resilient than his men, so I decided it's not worth the darts. Hey, you know what quest I don't think I've ever done in a video? Come fly with me. Don't fact check that, I do not care if it's correct. But if it isn't, I'm gonna change that. It's kind of a waste of my very limited darts, but hey, where's the fun in rushing the main quest every single time? When I get to the basement, I make the difficult decision to murder Harland in cold blood. Difficult is an exaggeration. Like I said, it was in cold blood. I give Davison the note about the stealth boys being gone, that way he and his mutant friends are gone too, allowing the ghouls to get into the basement. Thankfully, a few refund cigarettes are down there for me to turn into darts. Chris sends me out to fetch some elbow grease and blinker fluid for him. Elbow grease. What does he think I am, an idiot? But tell you what, when I get back with that blinker fluid, I'll be the one laughing. Ah ha ha. I don't know how to make a normal laugh sound. I go back upstairs to use the control panel and launch the rockets off to the great beyond, leveling up twice in the process. And I quick save phase down to the ground. I can't be bothered to walk all the way around. Hey, that rhymed. On my walk to Boulder City, because I'm gonna stop there too, I enter Vault 11. Look, let's get one thing out in the open. I'm not killing the Brotherhood with this thing. I mean, give me a break, okay? Would you want to do that? Instead, when I get to Boulder City, I put the Khans down in the Brotherhood's place. Despite provoking a gang war with them, the Khans don't actually execute their hostages. Maybe they're not actually supposed to. I hardly ever do this quest this way, I don't know. I level up twice, again, and take the Professional for increased sneak crit damage. Does it work with the Doublestrike? Netherverse if I know, but I take it anyway. Speaking of things I don't ever do, Birds of a Feather. I never do that quest. Who the hell does? You've heard of playing games on my phone during the Securitron presentation. Now get ready for playing games on my phone during the Van Graff meeting. That is a good twist on a recurring bit, if I do say so myself. I stand guard with Simon outside as instructed. Except by stand, I really mean twitch around like I'm actually fucking tweaking on something. I perform my duties well in spite of that though, at least until Pacer shows up and I choose to kill him. When we go inside, I return my armor and fuck! My lightweight leather armor is broken. This is embarrassing. I have Ralph fix it up before I go deliver a mildly suspicious package to a mildly suspicious man. Then I make a long journey to the Mojave that's a typo. Mojave outpost to kill Cass. I know, it's mean. I'm a dick. But look, I don't have any emotional attachment to these playthroughs. I do terrible things for your eyes only. I wouldn't do this sort of thing in a save I actually give a fuck about. I wouldn't do 95% of the stuff I do in videos in a save I actually give a fuck about. I report Cass's death to Jean-Baptiste, and accompany the Van Graffs to their arms deal with the Legion, which is promptly broken up by an NCR ambush. I let them kill all the legionaries, and I just loot whatever I can find on whoever hits the ground. Alright, that's probably enough of this quest for the rest of my life. I'm gonna go do some other stuff in Red Rock Canyon. Not my usual... I just bit my tongue. Not my usual Red Rock escapades. Okay, maybe a little bit. I talked to Regis about the NCR, and he says that if he were in charge, he'd totally be cool with them. But for that to happen, something bad would have to happen to Papa Khan. And that's not gonna happen for a really, really long tonight after I break into his bedroom and kill him in his sleep. When the time comes, the Khans will fight for the NCR. I hope. I feel like the last time I did this in, like, 2017, it didn't work for me. I don't know. Anyway, guess who I plan to side with? House. Nah, I'm fucking with you. NCR. Speaking of, remember how I said earlier that killing Dead Sea wouldn't be worth the ammo? I went back and did it anyway, which gets me to accepted by the NCR. Notably, this means I get to do my favorite side quest now, messing with NCR Operator. I want to get him into Dead Money. I've tried to get him into all the other DLCs, and the only one that's worked so far is Old World Blues. I'm sad to say that we're in for some disappointment. He spawns inside the bunker behind the door when you enter. I tried avoiding his dialogue by melee attacking until I got gassed, but just like Honest Hearts, he hands me the radio during the slideshow. Obviously I can't do Dead Money in this playthrough though, so I load back and get it in the bunker. Okay, let's go to Vegas. In my restless dreams I see... Fuck all, why is it so foggy? Okay, that's better. I enter Gamora and try sneaking my Doublestrike in, but apparently it's not a holdout weapon. Blatant oversight in my opinion. Fine, I'll be back for them later. Instead I convince Swank to return my guns to me in the tops. It takes numerous attempts, but eventually I manage to sneak attack Benny with my Doublestrike without his guards being able to tell. I give Mr. House all of my snow globes before using the chip to open up his secret room. I already did the games on my phone bit. I can't watch his presentation again. So I shoot him in the face, and he explodes into bloody chunks. I use the snow globe caps to turn myself into a cyber vaquero with both the perception and subdermal implants. Why perception? I want the better critical perk. Maybe, hopefully. But look, I'm an idiot, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you. I dumped perception. I had 1 perception until 2 seconds ago, and I need 6 to get better criticals. So I backtrack over to Helios to salvage some solar panels. I also figure, hey, may as well power up the place, right? And take some pictures on the way out. And on my way back to Vegas, where I hand them to Michelangelo, I level up and put another point in perception. After that, I briefly return to Boulder City to steal Jessup's armor, then use it to get into Vault 3. This allows me to very easily head to the lower floor, steal the pulse cleaner, and execute Motor Runner from the shadows. I also figure, when in Rome, right? So I execute Daniel as well, steal his key, and allow the fiend hostages to sneak out of the vault without them ever being detected. I love bananas. Oh, you know another quest I've never done in a video? A final plan for Esteban. Because, quite frankly, why the hell would I do this quest for a video? There's hardly anything to talk about. I mean, that's it. I like this quest, it's a nice little quest, but why would I ever do it for a video? Until now, at least. But now I can say that I have. I turn in Motor Runner's helmet while I return to Morales. Now I go out to recruit the boomers to the NCR's side. Those solar panels I collected earlier do a lot of heavy lifting, alongside healing the dudes with the ant allergies and giving Jack his own scrap metal. I also spot Lindsay on the way back to Pearl, so I return Mr. Cuddles to her. Now I can fetch the plane out of the drink. I get there a unique way this time. Fast traveling to Hoover Dam, dropping into the water, and using quick save phasing to get through the junk fence designed to prevent me from doing this. Now the boomers are on our side. When I report it to Crocker, I also report Pacer's preemptive death. And I can tell him that I killed Pacer with an energy weapon to blame the Van Graffs. I mean, the Van Graffs were tangentially involved, but like, energy weapon? Alright man, whatever I guess. After exiting dialogue, I accidentally shot Crocker. And that guy moves fucking fast. He's just gone. It's fine though, I loaded a save, and I put another point in perception. Now, look, my head is full of crazy ideas. I've said this before. I've got a good one now. I'm gonna kill Kaisar. I've got a plan. I travel down to the fort and agree to destroy House's bunker. You know, kinda. When I get to the weather station, what I actually do is take my guns back, then drop a double strike on the ground and try to exit. The guard reconfiscates my weapons, but I can pick up my double strike and walk out since he already searched me. Then I realize I can do the same thing with all of my chems. What a fucking idiot, this guy. I enter Kaisar's tent, use a stealth boy and some psycho, and wham! Sic Semper Tyrannis, you know what I'm saying? Then I use the rest of the stealth boy to escape back to Cottonwood Cove, where the Legionnaires give me a bit of hell, but whatever. It feels good for a dumbass plan to go right every now and then. I still have a few more levels to go until I can get better criticals, so I finish up the former half of Restoring Hope by recovering supplies and healing patients. Remember, Dead Sea has been twice as dead since a few minutes ago for you and like 9 hours ago for me. When thinking about other good sources of XP, the devil on my shoulder speaks up. Run good speaks run XP exploit. Oh man, I don't want to do that, that's lame. Yeah, but it's gonna be worth it. Okay, yeah, I did it. Can I... Please don't take this away from me. Just this one time, okay? And never again. I dispose of all of the leather armor and 9mm ammo I get from him, though. I don't want any of that. After all this horsing around, I go to talk to Moore, finally. She sends me to the Great Khans. As you may remember, I arranged for them to be able to side with the NCR. Guess what? Remember when I said I wasn't sure if it would actually work? It fucking doesn't! Regis has no dialogue for me. I assume it would work if I waited until now to kill Papa. I've definitely done that before, but... oh well. Sorry, Khans. Looks like you've all gotta die again. Now I've gotta deal with the Omertas too. I wanted, badly, to kill them, but I always do that. So I actually do their quest. I get Troik out of his contract and use his thermite to burn the guns. And I find evidence that Clandon is the worst. I really wish my double strikes were holdout guns so I could kill him, but meh. Then I return to Caccino to help him kill the bosses. The first time we walk in, they don't even start talking before opening fire, and Caccino is killed before Nero. So I load back, and this time act as a human shield for Caccino. He can shoot through me, but they can't. So Caccino is, for better or worse, in charge now. And now I go out to Hidden Valley, where I hand McNamara his 3 special holotapes that I collected, and I retrieve the missing laser pistol for Knight Torres. I collect the 3 special reports for McNamara, and give Lorenzo his 3 special miscellaneous items. Man, what is it with video games and the number 3? Why not 2? Or 1? Or none? Either way, after that, McNamara is willing to stand down to the NCR and help at the dam. I also returned the laser pistol to Torres. Wouldn't want to make that mistake again. Not that that video is canon, there's no Netherverse lore. After I inform Moore about the proposed alliance, it's time for me to protect the president. Now, I know that it's possible to kill him without pissing off the NCR. I've done it in a video before. But this time, even when I do it undetected, the NCR knows it was me. Why? Okay. Well, despite that, what I opt to do is shoot him, then let him run off to his vertibird, which is promptly blown up by the Legion. So if you think about it, it was double strike related. When I get to Oliver's office, a bear trap goes off. So briefly, very briefly, I enter FreeCam and check it out. Turns out, this version of his office is physically the same one as the one used in Veni Vidi Vici. I don't know if that's how that's pronounced, I don't give a fuck. I don't know why I assumed that his office was its own cell in this version, but I also don't know what set off that trap. Anyway, I set off to defend Hoover Dam for the NCR. I'm a little indiscriminate with my darts. I have almost 300 of them still. I mean, how many could the legate possibly take? So I blaster down just about all of the Legionnaires, both in and on the first half of the dam. Emphasis on the first half. When the boomers show up, I enter the little divider shack and I get curious. Intellectually. What happens if I drop into the water and quick save phase out of the barrier again? Well, I got out. I don't know what I expected, honestly. Some kind of invisible wall? Some kind of kill zone? I don't know. But I get to Camp Golf and I see that there's still NPCs here. And I'm thinking now, well, what happens if I go to Vegas and find Yes Man? Ace in the Hole is still in my quest log. I can't fast travel to Vegas, but I can walk there in my own 2 boots with my own 2 spurs, jingle jangle, jingling all the way. I eventually get there and I am indeed able to talk to Yes Man. Then I plug him into the Lucky 38 and don't play games on my phone. Oh, speaking of my phone, I opened the game, but all I did was sit in my inventory and ponder orbs. Orbs. What are they, anyway? Anyway, I tell Yes Man about all the side factions, except the White Gloves because I never met them. Because you don't have to for the NCR ending, which, mind you, I am currently doing. But I go scope them out and I start Beyond the Beef. Thing is, I want to go for the good ending this time. When I grab the matchbook, I get ambushed by cannibals, and I can't fight back since double strikes aren't holdout weapons. I hope that Chauncey will be in the steam room for me to talk to, but he's not. I have to wait until 4 PM tomorrow, and it's still 10 PM today. With cannibals still chasing me, I run outside the casino and wait until 4 PM. Not wait as in the in-game waiting feature. You're not allowed to do that during the second battle of Hoover Dam. No. I mean, I wait until 4 PM tomorrow. I stay there, in real time, finding various ways to entertain myself in the long period of real-life time between fake life 10 PM and 4 PM. Something might genuinely be wrong with me. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. But I do learn in this waiting period that, for some reason, Vault 21's radios get tuned to the NCR emergency broadcast during the second battle.
Where we are receiving help from a non-NCR military asset.
Why? Okay, eventually the clock strikes 4. I get there a little late, but Chauncey is still waiting to be executed after telling me about the conspiracy to commit cannibalism. With those 2 cannibals still chasing me, I join the White Glove Society, bully Philippe, and cook up some real fake meat pie. Now I have to wait another fake life hour for the waiter to come take it. When he does, I enter the members only area and wait for Mortimer to reveal that they ate human flesh. Meanwhile, the entire time his crony and his hitman are both desperately trying to kill me to prevent me from revealing the truth. But they fail, because I successfully stay alive until the end of his speech and reveal that Ted is still alive. I start to leave, and forget entirely to bring Ted to his dad. And he follows me out of the casino, and just keeps on following. Okay, I guess I've got myself a companion. For like 5 seconds at least, I enter Freeside with the intention of having my armor repaired and Securetrons gun him down. Sorry, man. I also don't get my armor repaired because a swarm of thugs raid Mick and Ralph's, killing them both. This was also after I got the pimp boy from him, meaning that I can't swap back to my regular one. I'm stuck with this ugly piece of shit. I go tell Heck that Ted is dead through avoidable circumstances, then return to Yes Man and tell him about the White Gloves. Notably, doing this means that I'm now branded a traitor by the NCR, and I'm locked out of the NCR ending. What a shame. I also repair my armor with some leather armor from Blake, due to Mick's incident. Along the road to El Dorado, the very long road, I get accosted by none other than the Spanish Inquisition. I've got to admit, I forgot that I still had that mod installed, so I guess I wasn't expecting it. This is the 3rd time they've gotten me, too. I spawned in a Legion Assassin to take the Caper thumbnail screenshot, and I didn't realize that I had it enabled at the time. So I wasn't expecting it, but I went, that's fine. They eventually get distracted by someone else, so I get away from them mostly unscathed. Tell you what, if I start seeing Netherverse agents again, I'm gonna be royally fucked off. At the substation, I sneak kill all of the NCR troopers outside, even though they're looking right at me. It's okay. Without my glasses, I'm basically blind too. I make the journey all the way back to Yes Man and start what some might consider the 3rd battle of Hoover Dam. Interestingly, the first half of the dam is still fully cleared. I don't have to fight the Legion a 2nd time. But then I progress some more and... what if I did it again? What if I jumped off again, and I phased through the fence again, and I went back to Vegas? What first happens is that my Securetron friend is obliterated by security. What second happens, when I talk to Yes Man, is that he triggers his dialogue for when you slot him into the dam. Which I did not, because I'm not there in case you've somehow forgotten. Initiating dialogue again triggers his dialogue for first going to the dam, but I'm not actually sent there. So I walk all the way back to Lake Mead, and despite my best efforts, I'm unable to phase back through the fence. So I loop around to the normal road to the dam, but a bunch of rocks and an invisible wall block my path. Phasing through the rocks sorta works, so I'm back. Sorta. The elevator I meant to take down into the dam for No Gods, No Masters is blocked off. I assume Eureka does this on purpose. I don't know, I've never looked before. Alpha Squad is also no longer on the other side of the divider shack, and the elevator down to the offices is also locked. The shack is now also locked, but my last quick save is from before I entered it. I tried taking the main elevator down from the visitors center, but that's also blocked off. I also try phasing through the No Gods, No Masters elevator to see if there's an interaction point behind it. No such luck. It seems to me like I'm locked into Eureka. However, Scaretrons do clear my path to the Legate's camp in spite of it. I convinced the Legate to participate in a one-on-one duel. It was a really good call too, because, well, it's a fucking Nerf gun. What do you think? The whole fight takes probably around 8 straight minutes and over 100 darts. Also worth noting, for some reason he can't knock me down. He forces me into third person sometimes, which happens when you get knocked down, but I don't actually get knocked down. I don't have Stonewall, for clarification. Maybe this has something to do with me glitching the game out excessively. I don't know. I don't know why it would. But no matter the reason, it's what's happening. Partially because he gets stuck in a table for a while, partially because I'm so high on chems I can't tell my left or my triangle, the Legate drops dead. Interestingly, No Gods, No Masters progresses. Eureka does not. So when the general arrives, the dialogue I get is for No Gods, No Masters. Part of me expected both sets of dialogue as options, but this works for me. I could talk him down, but I instead ask Yes Man to kindly throw the general off of the dam, and I beat Fallout New Vegas with a Nerf blaster. Twice at the same time if you think about it. Alright, I'm gonna go phase through a fence. Bye.
Welcome to Jacobstown.